paint some corners, and slam some dollar dogs because baseball season is almost here and you're tuned into the Goose Egg Sports Podcast, which is the best podcast in the entire world.
Wow.
According to myself, when I'm 3.5 beers deep.
Yeah.
It's your boy Matt, aka Derek Cheater, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Jared, aka These Bitches Love Sosa, Sammy Sosa.
And Chief Keef.
And Chief Keef. How are you?
Good. Are you a Derek Jeter hater?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay, he's a Derek Cheater.
Was he like known for cheating?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I just liked the wordplay of it.
Gotcha.
To be fair, I know very little about baseball. We're going to have a baseball guest on later today to help walk me through it.
Okay, I got one thought about baseball.
Let's hear it.
We got Jake on, by the way, coming up later. Everyone in America knows how to play baseball.
Yeah.
And you never really get that with any other sport. Like there'll be people like, oh, they don't really understand football. They don't really understand basketball, but everybody understands baseball. And I always think that's very interesting.
I think it's because from such a young age, we're introduced to it. You're either playing or you're going to like your brother or sister's game.
Right.
But that's very true. You're never watching baseball with someone and you never hear that person like, wait, what are the rules?
Right, exactly. Like everyone knows it. Like football, are like, okay, what's a first down? You got to explain it, blah, blah, blah. But baseball's across the board. Everyone knows about it.
And I think so much of baseball culture has bled into real life. Like employers will discipline an employee based on like 3 strikes.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things like that
or
that we just kind of understand.
Or it's like, oh, did you go second base with her? It'd be like shit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm at Denny's. Let me get a grand slam.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of baseball talk just throughout our life. So I think we just naturally understand it. But that is a really good point.
And just like how life would change if like baseball was 4 strikes. And you're like, okay, you got your 4th strike. You know, it wouldn't be 3 strikes.
It would change. I think America would crumble if baseball fundamentally changed any rules like that.
Yeah.
We would just not know how to talk to each other anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I thought that the other day.
Absolutely. And then we'll get into a lot more baseball stuff later on. But first, we got to run through some basketball because the NCAA championship came and went.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas came back down from 15 to beat UNC. I have a confession to make. I did not watch a second of this game.
Oh, Matt.
And I don't know why.
Why didn't you watch it?
I was just like busy. I was like getting a really good workout in. I was going to go watch it with some people in the office, but it was a Monday night. It started really late. Everyone was kind of doing their own thing. And I just got caught up at the gym and just, I don't know. I just didn't get into it. I also think I just didn't have a ton of interest in this matchup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Just not the typical. I guess Kansas is a blue blood, and I guess UNC is a blue blood.
Yeah,
so
all 4 of them were blue bloods.
So I don't know why I was so taken aback by it, but there wasn't a lot of star power, I don't think.
Well, there was. I mean, but if you're not really invested in these teams, you're not going to know the star power with it.
And the crazy thing is, I had Kansas winning in our work bracket, so I ended up winning our work bracket because Kansas won.
Jeez.
Like I won money, and I just wasn't interested. I don't know.
Casual.
I think, yeah, maybe something like that. But it was a really great game from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
It was like phenomenal.
Very fast paced.
Yep,
back
I heard
and forth.
the big controversy right now is there were some problems with the floorboard.
Mm-hmm.
People were saying, hey, maybe we should play these games in just actual basketball arenas, not in these big, massive stadiums.
Right. Which is, I think, is kind of a stupid take.
Yeah.
Because like you go to like any NBA arena, a lot of them are dual purpose with hockey. So they're constantly changing out the floorboards with ice pretty much. So, I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Sure, there probably should be more structural integrity with it going forward. But just to like say, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. You know, play it at fucking the Yum Center or whatever is in New Orleans.
The Smoothie King Center?
Yes, play it at this Smoothie. We want the Smoothie King Center instead of the Superdome. I think it's stupid. And it makes it feel less like an event too. Exactly. When you see basketball played not in an arena, it feels more special, feels more grander than NBA arena.
I would agree. You want to maximize these big opportunities when you get them. They're only on a spectacle this large so often.
Right.
In high school, I remember our big thing was if you get to the championship, you get to play in the Dakota Dome.
Yes.
That was a big deal for us at that point.
Yep.
And I think stuff like that is important. I also got to imagine this was a fluke that could have happened pretty much in any situation.
Pretty much.
I'm expecting that the people putting the floor together for the Final Four aren't exactly being negligent. You got to imagine they're being pretty diligent with it.
Like, this is the last thing they want to happen. It's not like they purposely did it.
Oh, yeah. People, I'm sure, lost their jobs over it.
You think that far?
I don't know, maybe.
Their whole staff's getting fired right now.
Someone. Well, there's definitely at least a talking to.
There's definitely email sent.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, a strongly worded email.
I'm sure those people like woke up Monday or Tuesday morning and had like a video link in the email, and there's like, oh no. Subject line about last night or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You rolled his ankle. It's all your fault.
Or you're all of a sudden gonna get like, you just have like a meeting schedule, like all company meeting,
right,
for like 10:30 a.m.
And North Carolina had bad injury luck throughout that entire game. Like I think Caleb Love or RJ Davis, I forget which one, but they also rolled their ankle, and that was not floor related either. So, and then there was another injury too. So they just had really bad injury luck in that.
Maybe we need to look into the shoes.
Maybe Zion. It's just like a Zion thing.
Could have been.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the crazier college basketball things I can remember in my lifetime, was the Zion Williamson thing.
Yep.
Because that was the game where like he had the most national attention too. I think Obama was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember, and then like 6 minutes into the game,
there was a lot of hype around that game.
Yeah, it was like the biggest regular season. It was a Duke UNC game.
Yep.
And it felt like it was the biggest regular season college game in a while.
And then Zion's foot fell out of the shoe.
Yeah.
Which was, that was a bad look for Nike.
And it just looked like super scary. Like everyone thought his ACL was torn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nike was not happy about it. But they ended up winning like the signing contract for him.
Yep, they did. Yep.
I'm sure they just threw anything they wanted.
Anything that was everything they threw at him.
Personally, they had to fix that.
Yeah, we'll give you the Phil Knight jet. We'll give you.
You can live in our Oregon campus.
Yeah. You can get probably a meal voucher at the Oregon campus.
Yeah, you could probably hang out with like Tiger Woods or something someday.
Yeah, well, no, here's Tiger Woods' phone number. You can call him anytime.
Just without asking him, they gave it to him.
Yeah, it's like anytime you want. Do it.
Yeah, but I think
just do it.
There you go. Great.
Missed that one.
Way to bring that one around. But yeah, I agree. I think overall arenas cause for a bigger spectacle, and I think without those big events, the like significance of a championship kind of loses its value a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, we saw it during the COVID year, like missing out on the fans, stuff like that. All of that stuff goes into the environment of a big sporting event. It all generates that buzz, and it just feels different without it.
Mm-hmm.
It like the NBA bubble, the NBA championship did not feel the same when they're in the bubble.
Right. Kind of backtrack a little bit. Like WrestleMania used to be in arenas, and then for like 3 years they went the sirens going off.
Tornado siren, first Wednesday of the month.
So they did 3 WrestleManias like in arenas like Chicago, LA, New York. And it just didn't feel the same as like in a stadium. And the WWE knew that. So now they're like almost exclusive going to a new stadium every year, like Cowboy Stadium, the Superdome even.
Yeah.
And they're going to LA next year. So, I mean, these companies do know that the stadiums are a different feel to it.
Absolutely.
Plus, you sell more tickets. So at the end of the day, everybody wins.
Yeah. It's not just a optics thing. It is just an overall feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It like the whole city just feeds off it kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's important.
So yeah, I think it's a dumbass take by Twitter, or it's just like it's usually just a couple people.
Believe it or not, Twitter missed the ball on that one.
Yeah, it's just Twitter in general.
Yeah. All right, so this next topic is not going to be an easy one for me, but I think I owe it to the listeners to be fully transparent. I think I want to be an honest podcast and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
and it's going to be tough for me, but I think tough moments like this are what define people. I think we are not defined by our lowest moments, but we're defined by how we respond to our lowest moments. So this is going to be tough for me, but we're going to do it. The Los Angeles Lakers last night were eliminated from playoff contention after a loss to the Phoenix Suns. LeBron didn't play. He said ankle hurt, and he stayed out of
My
it.
ankle hurt.
He didn't play the game, despite the fact that he dropped 38 the game before.
Right.
The Lakers are out of the playoffs. They're not even making it into the goddamn play-in game.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad look for everything.
It's a terrible look. What do they do?
What do they do? I got a little thing here.
Okay.
It's from Reddit. It's the Lakers story through LeBron tweets.
All right.
So this first tweet's from earlier this year. LeBron said, keep talking about my squad, our personal ages, the way they play. We're past our time in this league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please. And I mean, please. And then the hand emojis like praying. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you. Then king emoji.
That's the most LeBron tweet ever.
So I don't know what this is probably earlier this year.
That was, I think, right after they got Westbrook. I do remember him tweeting that because I liked the tweet.
And then the next tweet, I don't know when either of these are, but it's funny. The next tweet was hashtag Laker Nation. I apologize and I promise we'll be better. exclamation mark, king emoji, hearts. and,
Okay.
and then his last one, I'm out for the season officially. See y'all in the fall.
Oh,
That's
we had the Michael Jordan press release, I'm back.
right.
And now we have the LeBron James tweet, I'm officially out for the season. See y'all in the fall.
See y'all in the fall. What a downfall for the king.
It was a rough season.
Yeah.
And I think he actually played pretty well. He's probably the only one who could say they had a good season
Right.
this year on that team. Anthony Davis has got to go. He's such a great player when he plays, but for whatever reason, he just can't stay healthy.
Stay healthy, right.
I don't understand how it is because these athletes have like personal trainers. They have every advantage in the world, but some people just don't stay healthy.
Yeah, it's like Greg Oden.
Yeah.
That type.
And but the thing is, I don't know, would people take Anthony Davis at this point? I'm sure someone would.
Oh, yeah, I would. I mean, he's probably not going to be to a premier team. Well, maybe it would be a premier team.
Maybe. I guess like
I think he still has some gas in the tank left.
he absolutely does, but I think LeBron just needs someone more reliable. I think he brought Anthony Davis in hoping that LeBron could be the one who takes a couple nights off every now and then rather than Anthony Davis.
Right. He needs a top 10 talent.
Yep. Westbrook, I don't care what happens. He's not playing another game for the Lakers ever again.
Nope.
I think they're going to have to package him with Anthony Davis just so someone like takes that contract off of their hands.
Yeah.
Either that or they just straight up might cut him and just swallow the dead money because they're not going to get an asset back for Russell Westbrook.
Here's an idea. You could trade Anthony Davis and Russ to the Pelicans for Zion.
or
It goes back
or
to
get Brandon Ingram back.
Yeah, they just come back.
Honestly, that wouldn't be terrible. But I guess Zion will probably need to be out too. But yeah, I was trying to think for like destinations for Anthony Davis. I can't imagine you can pry Damian Lillard from the Blazers.
That's such a one-sided trade then too.
Exactly. I think it would have worked if they had pulled the trigger at the beginning of the season.
Right.
But they were kind of like adamant they wanted to stick with this because AD is LeBron's guy, apparently. They do like playing together. And I think I would probably say Anthony Davis, when healthy, is the best player LeBron's ever played with.
When healthy?
Kyrie was pretty good too.
I would say Kyrie.
But in terms of complementing each other's style, they did a pretty good job.
Right. At the Mickey Mouse Bowl.
In the Mickey Mouse Bowl, Disney Town.
Disney Town, yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know where the Lakers go from here. I mean, do you think about trading LeBron?
If LeBron requests it, then I would say yeah.
That's the thing. I think this is the first time. I mean, LeBron's been in these shitty team situations before because he kind of operates on a 4-year cycle.
Yeah.
Where the first year, it's like, get rid of all the young guys, get me my vets that I like. Right. Second year, win the championship. Then third and fourth year, it's kind of just all falls apart because these old guys, turns out, are old.
Right.
And it doesn't work.
Or they don't like each other anymore.
Mm-hmm. But by that time, LeBron's usually already... We're in this part of the process, we've already done Photoshops for LeBron in every other jersey. But he hasn't like said he's wanted out or dropped his usual hints besides what he did at the All-Star weekend with Cleveland.
Right.
And I just don't think he's going to want to leave LA. I think
Cleveland is probably the top destination where he'd want to go.
I think it'd be the only place he would want to go until Bronny gets drafted because his net worth has doubled since being in LA.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Yeah. I'd probably assume that Space Jam 2 was such a hit.
It was.
Yeah.
How did that get snubbed at the Oscars?
For what?
Everything. Best film, best act, best lead.
Best special effects.
We're going to give it to physical assaulter Will Smith, and we're not going to give it to the king.
Right, yeah, get the king up there.
All I ask is that they please keep that same energy for next season.
Yeah,
because
keep it going.
The Lakers are coming back.
In the fall.
Yep, after a nice long off season. It'll be really good. I think it'll be about 2 or 3 more weeks until we start getting LeBron workout videos in the gym where he's like dancing and flexing.
And then he'll play like Jack Harlow's new album in the gym.
And say, this goes off, sheesh, something like that.
Yeah, it'll definitely be that. Yeah, he's going to do a big rehab sesh, maybe do a cameo in a movie.
Yep.
Get some sun. You know, that whole thing.
Maybe open a few more Blaze pizzas up.
Yeah, maybe. So
he's busy off season. He'll get to start dabbling in the retirement lifestyle a little bit. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he watches every single NBA game that ever happens. I don't believe that for a second either.
He's lying.
That's what he says. He says he has not missed a single playoff game ever. And
that's more doable. But like
he's also said in the regular season game he watches every game from every team. I would bet money he's not watching any Pistons games this year.
Right? Yeah, he probably watches like maybe 3 games a day.
He probably watches the Bucks and the Nets.
Right.
And maybe the Clippers.
And the Suns.
Yeah.
Like the playoff teams he watches.
Exactly.
When he says playoff teams, that he's just watching people that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's not watching the Magic play.
No, definitely not. No, he doesn't have time for that.
So have a good offseason, LeBron. Like they said on Inside the NBA, if you want to come on, we got a spot open for you.
Yeah, we'll have you in. Yeah, you can be the second mic. And we could probably have you on for one segment.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. We might be planning a Disney World trip here soon. We might want some recommendations.
Oh, if we get LeBron in here, we gotta wear Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh, and only talk about Disney World. So how did you like Disney? So we got a family of 4. We're really hoping to keep it budget friendly. What type of activities do you recommend?
Yeah.
Where did you stay in Disney World?
Yeah, how's the food there?
Epcot or Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
Which one's more bang for your buck?
Did you have a drink at every part of Epcot? Or whatever people do on TikTok?
That would be the most insulting interview he's probably ever been a part of. Do you think he knows about like the Mickey running joke by now?
Oh, definitely. He's always on Twitter. He's got to know about it by now. Yeah.
Do you think? I guess you probably don't like that if you're LeBron. Say your last championship you won was just a Disney championship,
right?
But it's also the funniest inside joke in all of sports Twitter right now.
Yeah. I love saying Mickey Mouse anything.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so fun.
It instantly demeans whatever you're talking about. You're talking about like a Nobel Peace Prize winner. You're like, oh, Mickey Mouse Nobel Peace Prize
for astrophysics. That Mickey Mouse award.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a tool.
Oh,
what a clown.
Great rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you watched a lot of regular season NBA this year, but do you have a take on who your MVP is? Because it's probably more up in the air now than it ever has been.
Yeah. I'd probably be Giannis. I don't know. He's having a great year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough part about.
Or Embiid. I hear Embiid's having a good year.
Embiid would be my pick, but I also am always very lenient towards a new guy winning it. I
think the writers are too.
Yeah. I'd never like giving it to the same guy multiple years in a row, even though Giannis has like statistically improved every season since his MVP season. I think that's what's so tough about MVP awards.
Yeah. Like, what's a better story? You know, Giannis getting it or Embiid getting it?
Exactly.
More articles, more clicks, blah, blah, blah.
And that was my biggest problem when Russell Westbrook got it the year he averaged the triple-double. I was like, well, he's probably going to do that again. Then do we have to give it to him again just based off that merit?
No, I mean, I think wins also have a lot to do with it too.
Yes.
Like if you're top 2 in your conference, that obviously helps big time.
Yeah. Which is why I'm kind of surprised like Devin Booker isn't getting more votes
that is
or
weird.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I just think that Suns are viewed more as a team. I think there's certain teams that are viewed as teams versus a player and a bunch of guys.
And then like Jokic, like he plays, it's a team that he plays on, but you know, it doesn't.
But he stands out.
He stands out. So
he's probably second or third right now in MVP voting.
He's fun to watch. I like him a lot.
He is cool. I like his passing is phenomenal. The stuff he does.
So he just does everything so smooth. Like
which should not be the case with how big and like lanky he looks.
Right. And he's definitely one of those players that could have played in the 90s. You're like, he's the right build for it.
He could fit into any era.
Yes, for sure. He would dominate any era.
His little fadeaway step back thing, it's unstoppable, but it's one of those moves where you're watching on TV, you're like, how do they not know that's coming? I could get in front of that and stop it. And you're not thinking about the actual size he has when he does it, the size advantage and just the grace he has and how automatic it is.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a good time. So the regular season for the NBA ends on Sunday, which means the play-in tournament will begin momentarily here.
Okay, so I'm confused. What is the play-in tournament?
So I'm glad you asked. I actually wrote down the rules for it.
Thank you.
So we have it's 2 one-game matchups in the East, 2 one-game matchups in the West. The 7 seed versus the 8 seed will play each other. Winner of that gets the 7 seed. They're automatically in.
Okay.
The 9 and 10 seed play each other, and the winner of that will play the loser of the 7 versus 8 game.
Oh, and then they'll battle for the 8th seed.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. The matchups as of right now, and this looks like it'll probably be set in stone. We've got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Brooklyn Nets for the 7 and 8, and the Hawks versus the Hornets for 9 and 10. And then we have the Timberwolves versus the Clippers for 7 and 8, and Pelicans, Spurs 9 and 10.
Okay.
So
I like that a lot.
I think it's a really good addition. LeBron even said so himself when he was in contention for it. But now he's probably gonna come out and say this is the worst thing we've added to the sport.
He's gonna call it a Mickey Mouse tournament.
Yeah, that's the real Mickey Mouse tournament. Winning the play-in.
They hang a banner up in their arena.
Play-in champions.
Yeah.
That's what the Timberwolves will probably do if they win. So let's just go through each ones and see what we think. Nets versus Cavs. I'm guessing we're both picking Nets here.
Yeah, well, I fucking bet the Nets earlier this year and they blew it against, who was that? What game was that?
The Grizzlies without Ja.
So I don't know. I think it wasn't KD hurt or something too.
He was playing. Kyrie and him were both playing.
Gotcha.
It's just the NBA is so weird. You'll get great efforts out of guys sometimes, and also the Grizzlies have won a lot of games without Ja in this last stretch, and like someone else has always stepped up to the occasion. So the Grizzlies might be legit.
Yeah, I think they would be. My logic says the Nets, but I'm gonna go with the Hawks or
the Cavs. You think the Cavs?
Yeah, I think
and then Hawks, Hornets. I think I would take the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Hornets, to be honest.
They got LaMelo.
LaMelo.
The Hornets were I did a little 2K franchise with a friend of mine last year when we lived together, and we played as the Hornets, like on the same team.
Nice.
It's a good time. I have a special place in my heart for him. I went and saw a game there too.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So then Hawks, and then we think the Nets would probably beat the Hawks to get into the playoffs. I don't see the Nets missing the playoffs,
That's
even though Ben Simmons isn't playing. He's already been ruled out for the play-in tournament.
Okay.
I don't think Ben Simmons is playing this whole year.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. So yeah, I'll go with. Fuck it. I'll go with the Hawks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go against all logic.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be something if Kevin Durant and LeBron are both out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That would be really weird.
That would be bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who it would be in the East then. The Bucks, Sixers, and Heat.
And the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are the West.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't at all because they're really far east of the Mississippi, which is usually how they divide it.
Yeah. It's like how the Cowboys are in the NFC East. Like, it makes no sense, really.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah. I do think it's time we just rearrange all divisions and conferences by geography.
Yeah. It's about time we do that.
Yeah.
But there's too much tradition around it.
I know. It's just way too much hassle.
I know.
We're all just lazy. I think it's one of those things the commissioner's like, we'll get to it eventually. Just put it off for another year because it's a week before the season starts. Oh, fuck. We forgot to rearrange everything.
It's pretty much like gerrymandering.
Yeah.
For division.
A little bit, actually.
Yeah.
All right. And then the West, Timberwolves, Clippers. I think I like the Wolves.
I love the Wolves.
The Wolves look pretty solid this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm all in on the Wolves.
Yep. So Timberwolves, Clippers, Pelicans, Spurs. I think I would take the Spurs.
Yeah.
Although Brandon Ingram is playing really well for the Pelicans right now.
Yeah.
And then Clippers versus Spurs. I think I would take Clippers.
I'll go against logic Spurs. I've been betting completely wrong on NBA all year.
So you're just going to go completely against
doing
it?
the opposite of what I usually think.
Okay. I don't hate that.
Yeah. Because I've not been doing well with NBA.
Yeah, I feel that. So that'll be the tournament will be finishing up by the time we do a podcast next week. So we'll see if we were right or wrong.
Is this played somewhere, or is this? At
I think
location?
they just do it at their
like
home. I think like 7 seed and the 9 seed like host or whatever. I don't think it's anything special.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's it for the NBA. We're really gonna hit into the playoffs here pretty soon. So I'm excited about that personally.
It's the best time of year for NBA.
Yeah,
and the playoffs are very long too.
Oh yeah. I mean they'll start end of next week and they'll go till like Father's Day is usually when they ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So in terms of NFL news, there's not a whole lot. Stephon Diggs got his money today, so apparently we were wrong about him like wanting out. Yeah. Apparently it was just a contract renegotiation, like we previously had thought.
The answer was money.
It usually is.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe looking back at the Rodgers stuff that it was all just about money. I got duped on that so hard.
It's so hard to believe that it's believable.
Yeah, exactly. So he got $70 million guaranteed, and it will keep him in Buffalo for 6 years. So he'll probably retire with the Bills.
Because he's about 28 right now, 29.
I think so, yeah. He's right in his prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think Josh Allen is ecstatic about it too.
Did you see he replied to Schefter's tweet about it?
What he said?
He just said yes.
That's simple yet effective.
100%. And then the only real other NFL news was Monday, there was a bizarre Eagles-Saints trade.
Yeah.
Where they just swapped a ton of draft picks.
Mm-hmm. It's maybe, yeah, I saw that too. I was like, whoa. Because like 4 of the 5 picks are going to be Eagles and Saints through that little stretch.
Yeah.
The mid first round.
And I think I believe there are 6 teams that have 2 first round picks this year.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah. So the draft is going to be pretty dominated by a select few teams. But I guess that's the other side of what happens when so many teams now trade up to get who they want or trade picks for a high profile player like the Rams do. Or I remember the Bears last year traded up to get Justin Fields.
Yep. Yeah.
So I guess that's the downside. Like the teams that are poor will have a chance to get richer.
Which is great. I love that. It's just a big rebuilding process. Like these lower caliber teams, like there's definitely be that are picking the top 15. There's definitely gonna be like 3 of them that will be in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think the Saints made that move to like try and move up to get a quarterback? There's a lot of talk that they're into Malik Willis right now.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, because like they have Jameis and Taysom and Andy Dalton.
And Taysom, they said they're done putting him at quarterback. They told him we're done doing that.
He's got a big old hefty contract too.
Yeah,
so that's
and
tough.
he wants to be a franchise quarterback. He's said it multiple times.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I go back and forth so much with that stuff. Like with Tebow, the whole Tebow thing. When he's like, I want to be an NFL quarterback. I'm not accepting any other role because I want to be an NFL quarterback. On one hand, I do get that because it's like your dream.
That's a pride thing.
Yeah, and at the same time, if that really is your dream, you would think you would do other things to work at that. Like, why didn't Tebow go to the Canadian Football League to try and improve his skill?
Right. Yeah, he just wants to be the big time. Wants to be.
I think so too.
Yeah, kind of likes that fame a little bit down inside.
I think Team Tebow loves fame.
He loves
when he took that shirt off and ran in the rain during Jets training camp.
That was sick.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There's a week of stories on ESPN about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then ESPN's like, "Oh, he did that. Look what he did."
I've read articles about how that summer of Tebow was like ESPN's downfall from like people inside ESPN who have left. They said that summer they like got an all company meeting and they were told basically Tebow is our priority.
Oh God.
That's so absurd.
That is bad. Oh my God.
They were just completely following ratings.
Well, they love a superstar.
They do. And Tim Tebow, I guess, is that.
Yeah, air quote star.
In terms of moving the needle, he really is.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
But it's always so weird when the media like that controls the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Like things are going to move the needle because we're invested in them because you keep showing us it.
Right. And then like internet media getting bigger and bigger. That was also a nail in the coffin for ESPN not wanting to keep up with it too.
Yeah.
People are tired of just hearing the same 5 stars getting talked about every sports center.
Definitely. It's mock draft season.
It is.
Have you been reading a lot of mocks? Are you a big mock draft guy?
Yeah, it changes every day, so it's hard to keep up. It just sucks that the Vikings pick 12 because all the good guys are gonna be gone by then.
That is always the bummer part about your team being decent is this part of the year is just a drag.
Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, we'll probably just draft some middle linebacker or offensive lineman in the mid rounds who I've never heard of. It might be a reach. It might be a steal. We'll just see what they say on draft day.
Right.
But it is kind of fun when your team sucks and you're in that top 10. The mock draft part is really fun. Have you ever written a mock draft?
No.
I did them in middle school and high school a good amount. I would write them out.
Did you ever like nail the mock drafts or not really?
I was probably 50% accurate at best for the one I took super seriously in high school where I like made a slideshow for nobody. I didn't even post it anywhere. I just did it myself.
Did you put transitions with it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the little, like all that stuff. Mm-hmm. The words come flying in like a helicopter.
Right.
Very sad. Very sad.
It's fucking like Jake Locker has the best transition because you're just.
It was that year. It was the Jake Locker year. I got so into the draft. I think the Vikings had the 9th pick that year.
That would have been the Ponder draft, wouldn't it?
It would have, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they would pick 12.
Tannehill.
They could pick 12.
Tannehill, Locker, Ponder, Cam Newton. Yep.
And like everyone knew.
And Blaine Gabbert.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
There was a lot of good quarterbacks that draft.
A lot of good.
Yeah, that only turned out there was only like 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kirk Cousins that was RG3 Luck. Never mind.
That next year was the quarterback draft.
That was the premier quarterback. I think Tannehill might have been in that one now that I think of it.
I can't fucking remember.
I think
ago. You were right. It was that draft.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree. But yeah, so my mock draft was decent, but I put in so much work into it and then just never posted it anywhere because I didn't know where to post it at that time.
You should dig that up if you can.
I think it's honestly in my high school computer, but I'll see if I can find it somewhere.
Yeah.
I know a laptop at home that might have it on there. But the one element about mock drafts I don't love is that there's not enough of the I'm screwing you over by picking someone else. I think that element of mock drafts is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of figured we would have our own mock draft.
Okay.
And we're going to do a completely random topic that I thought of earlier. We are going to draft to create the best house party you could possibly have.
Okay.
We're going to do 7 rounds, 15 seconds on the clock. Since you didn't know about this topic until just now, I will let you have the first overall pick.
Solo cups.
Solo cups. That's a good one. I had that on my board too. All right. So you got solo cups first overall pick. For my first pick, I'm going to go with females.
Oh, that's a good one. Damn it.
I needed something that would really like set the
That's a good
tone.
one.
So I've got females at my party. You have red Solo cups.
I will do. Let's see. I'm thinking some food. Frozen pizzas.
Frozen pizzas. Okay, so your party, you have Solo cups and frozen pizzas.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it to you again. Second pick, I'm gonna take alcohol.
All of it?
Yes.
You can't take all of it.
All right, I'll take beer.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Piggyback off that, keg.
Keg.
So you're bringing beer, I'm bringing a keg. So I'm gonna be way more popular than you.
But a keg of what?
Keg of beer. But you didn't specify what beer you're bringing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, I will say for my third pick, I'm gonna take hip hop music.
Oh fuck. Fourth pick, I'm taking the aux cord Bluetooth speaker.
Ooh, that's a good one. So
you get the hip hop music, but I get to control what hip hop music.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
Number 4 for me, I'm gonna take a place to take your shoes off. Like a little like doormat or something that you could take your shoes off at.
Next pick, I'm gonna do beer pong table.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and take putting YouTube on the TV.
Okay.
Like YouTube videos on the TV, because you're gonna have a lot of guys at your party, but now they're not gonna have anything to do for the post game because that's every guy's go-to is just put YouTube on TV.
Yes, yeah, and then like watch old highlights. Like
Yep.
Tavon Austin highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have a lot of frustrated guys with nothing to do for the post game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because there was no girls at the party, so they're just gonna be sitting around.
And they're just saying, God, he was good.
Yep.
Oh, if he was on a different TV, it would have been so good.
Dude, wasted potential, man.
Right.
That was the definition of the Tavon Austin. Every comment on there, I think, probably says wasted potential.
Even though he's with the fucking Rams.
Yeah. All right. So you got 2 picks left.
Couch.
Oh, I had furniture on mine. That's a good one.
You need a couch. You need somewhere to sit. You
Yep.
don't want people standing around.
Okay, that's a good one. I will go with I'm gonna go with a dance floor.
Okay.
Somewhere to dance. Because I got girls at my party, so they're gonna want something to do besides watch YouTube on TV. So I gotta give them something to do with the hip hop
What do
music.
you envision with a dance floor? Like you're bringing in a floor?
Just somewhere, a cleared area or cleared living room for them to dance at.
Okay.
Just cleared space next to where they put their shoes off.
So you picked a space.
Yeah, pretty much. You got one more pick.
Yes. It's 7th round pick. This is deep.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Fuck. I got solo cups. Fuck. 10, 9. What do we need? Fuck. Party. Nah. Fuck.
You want to trade down? If I can move up to this next one, I'll give you 2 picks.
Okay.
All right. For my final pick, and I think this is really going to fuck you over, I'm going to take air conditioning.
Didn't specify what time of year.
That's true, but I'm just going to take air conditioning.
But if there's a lot of bodies in there, it's going to get warm. Okay.
So that's what I'm going with.
Fuck. Still haven't thought of one.
It's all good. Take your time. Remember, the Vikings missed out on a draft pick once too. It happened.
God damn it, you're right.
It happens. Happens to the best of us.
We'll take Kevin Williams. No. I will bring. Fuck.
Do you want any substance there besides keg beer?
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I don't know if yeah, sure. I'll pick a certain substance.
Okay.
People probably know.
A certain substance, just to keep the party going.
Yeah, a certain substance, yes.
Okay. Then you got one more pick.
Fuck. Well, we're gonna need to ice. I'm bringing ice.
That's a good one.
Yep, ice.
Especially because people need to keep cool somehow.
Right. Yeah. I'll bring it for the keg too, the ice. So it works out.
All right.
Yeah.
Mock draft's over. We will compare.
My heart's racing. Right
yeah.
now.
We'll have both of our drafts up so people can compare the house party, see whose is better.
Yeah.
We'll try and do more of these as the draft gets closer. So send in topic ideas to our Instagram. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We would mock draft pretty much anything at this point.
I can mock draft anything.
Anytime.
I never run out of time.
Anytime, anywhere. Never run out of time. Anytime, anywhere.
Never lost.
All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick break, and then Jake is going to join us, and we're going to talk a little bit of baseball.
Baseball.
America's pastime. You smell that?
Yeah, I do smell that.
I smell
Hot dogs.
hot dogs, beer in a plastic cup,
Brats.
and dare I say Cracker Jack.
Ooh.
That can only mean one thing.
DraftKings?
I was going to say baseball, but then I was going to tie it into DraftKings, but I like where you're going better. That smells like DraftKings, and that sounds like It smells like all the money that you can win on DraftKings.
Money smells great.
Money does smell. Actually, it doesn't.
Digitally.
No, regular money does not smell great. Cash.
Yeah, I like the smell.
You like the smell of cash?
Like a fresh bill, I like.
A fresh bill, but
Nah.
you pull out your wallet right now, you're not smelling any of the cash in there.
Well,
it smells awful.
Depends what bill. Like $100 bill smells a lot better than a $1 bill.
A $1 bill smells awful.
That's the worst smelling bill.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also the worst to have. I'd much rather have hundreds just because they smell better.
That's a hot take.
100%. Big brain things happening here, people. And if you want to get in on the smelly action, then you got to download DraftKings. Baseball season is officially here. We got a hot tip for you. Shorter spring training, bet the overs these first few weeks.
Yes.
That is not financial advice. DraftKings has anything you could want. If you're not in a gambling state, you could do daily fantasy. Daily fantasy is probably the best way to bet baseball, I would say.
Yes,
you can just pick your lineup and just ride with it from there. So whether it's baseball, NBA playoffs are starting soon.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bet on the Lakers, unfortunately, which is sad for me.
Or fortunately, it depends. Fortunately for me, because I see miserable.
I know it's rough. But you can do NBA, Derby season's coming soon. Any sport you could possibly imagine, even NFL draft props. So just get in on the fun. Head over to DraftKings today and just play ball.
Play ball.
Must be 21 years or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, people, welcome back. We have returning to the podcast, friend of the podcast, Jake is back.
Hey, guys.
Jake is here.
Hey.
Oh, your camera's way off.
Oh, yeah. I am tall.
There he is.
A lot taller than Ryan.
I'm no schleppy guest, Jared. I'm going to need these cameras to be... Well, my hat is quite tall, too, so...
Yeah,
well, the big crown you're wearing right there. 1987 world champs.
Yep. Last time I was proud to be a Twins fan, and I wasn't even alive then, so...
Oh, not 91, huh?
Also wasn't alive then.
Oh, yeah.
So.
They made that one play-in game against the Yankees a few years ago.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. We made it. We didn't win it.
That's okay. Baby steps.
Yeah.
We brought you in because you're kind of the resident baseball guy on the podcast. You've been super hyped just sitting in your office all month probably, just watching these free agency moves happen.
Yep. Spring training.
all
Get
that
out
stuff.
of my head, by the way. We said that in unison.
That was crazy.
Yeah, dude. I'm very excited for baseball season. It is my favorite sport by far. With that being said, though, baseball is great, but personally, I think the MLB sucks.
Well, let's get into it. Why is that?
So, all right. So let's just jump right into number one here. The MLB sucks at marketing its players, and I think anyone can agree with that.
Right.
I mean, your kids aren't going out. I mean, you look at the NBA, right? Let's take NBA. Matt, you're a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
Kids are going out and they're buying Kyrie sneakers. They're buying, Kobe shoes, whatever. You get it, right?
Other players' shoes.
Other players' shoes. Just everyone's buying shoes.
Basketball cards, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like baseball cards used to be huge. No one buys baseball cards anymore. People are only talking about basketball cards.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but I think the MLB absolutely sucks. At marketing its players. Shohei Ohtani is quite possibly the greatest baseball player in the last 50 years, maybe.
Wow.
And no one talks about it.
He could walk down the street and I would not know who he is.
100%,
Yeah,
dude.
And I think there's a lot of people who are probably in that boat with me.
Yeah, and there are B-grade basketball players who are good, but if you were walking down the side of the road and you saw them, you'd be like, holy shit. It's
Yeah.
fucking...
Like LaMelo Ball.
Yes.
Melo Ball,
Shit.
J.R. Smith,
Right.
stuff like that. People can recognize them just because they see them elsewhere.
What's that commercial that LaMelo Ball is in? The...
AT&T one?
Big
Yes.
baller. Oh.
Yeah, he's in that AT&T commercial or whatever, right?
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani would never get an ad placement.
No.
Or Mike Trout would never get an ad placement like that.
Mm-hmm.
The MLB needs to figure out how to do that. And I know that maybe doesn't rely necessarily on the MLB because the MLB is kind of unique in the way that it works with the Players Association.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they are unionized or whatever. And so I know that causes a lot of friction when it comes to the MLB.
Brand deals.
Yeah, the MLB doesn't own the rights to the players' likenesses, whereas the Players Association does, which that is interesting.
So you think it's counterproductive then for the players?
I don't know if it's
a point.
counterproductive because they do negotiate good pay and all that stuff for players, whatever. But what it does do is it makes team owners not want to spend money on their players, right?
Sure.
There was talk this year that the Major League Baseball, that the MLB was going to institute a payroll minimum for teams. Like I'm talking like we'll use the Oakland Athletics for example. Their entire team's payroll is I think it's in $50 million range. I think it's just straight up $50 million. And to be paying all of your players a total of $50 million is bonkers.
And like Patrick Mahomes makes like almost $45 million a year too.
Yeah.
Put that in
Stephon Diggs just signed a $70 million deal, and he's not even like the number one receiver. And for entire teams to pay their entire players, that's absurd.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like one thing that made the MLB so great back in the day is that you would have teams that would come out of nowhere and win it, right? Like win the World Series. And it was due to teams, coughing up a little extra money and buying good players or whatever it is, right? You don't see that anymore because there's no league minimum, right? So there are teams like the Oakland Athletics. They're stuck in a shit stadium. They won't pay for a better stadium. They're still playing in the Coliseum, right? They won't pay money for good players, but they're still making money every single year and they're still in the league. So it's like they're just constantly floating in mediocrity.
Right. They don't have that knife above their head or the axe above their head.
Yeah, or there's no one to say, hey, you need to pay more. You need to make this more interesting for the whole of the MLB, right?
Yeah.
Like the MLB isn't saying, hey, Oakland Athletics, you need to pay more because you're making us all look bad, right? It can't just be the Dodgers and the Yankees with, $175 million payrolls who are now perennial winners of, the World Series.
And they're pretty much a lock to go to every postseason.
100%. I mean, it's all big market teams go really, really far. Whereas if you look at the NBA, I mean, granted, these are two different sports and one player can have a much bigger impact on a basketball team than one baseball player can. So that's important to understand.
But you still have like the Memphis Grizzlies who are doing really well just because you kind of get all the right pieces together and you like put in that little extra. You put your chips in the middle of the table when you feel like you have the right team.
Yeah, or the Milwaukee Bucks, for example. Like they're a very small market, compared to everyone else, and they still, NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And look at the Bengals even too.
Bengals, great example. Tiny, I mean, probably one of the smallest markets in all professional sports besides maybe Green Bay. I don't know.
It's down there.
Yeah, way down there. So you'll just never see shit like that anymore. So like, I don't know. That's probably my biggest gripe is that there's no payroll minimum in the MLB.
Yeah, it is. It's just rough. It's almost like you like the whole family, like a lot of the people are doing well, but then there's that one bum sibling that you can't like get to like figure their shit out or whatever. And that sibling kind of drags the rest of the family down with it because that's the sibling who's going to freak out at Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to.
That's a Colin Coward right there.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, I think MLB needs to even out the small market versus the big market thing. They need to figure out how to do that. The NFL's figured it out. The NBA's figured it out. The MLB needs to figure that out ASAP as to how make small market teams work.
Yeah.
Fuck Manfred.
Yeah. Are you surprised the season's happening?
No, I'm not surprised that it's happening. I knew that it would. I knew that it was going to start on time because they desperately needed it to start on time because I knew that Manfred would back down on a lot of his requests for the MLB.
Yeah, he's acting like a big guy, like, oh, I'm gonna play hardball with these guys. No pun intended.
Putting the man in Manfred.
Yeah. So he kind of walked in with a puffed up chest, and then 2 or 3 meetings later, he walked out deflated.
But he still thinks he won somehow.
Yeah, he does.
He talks his way through it.
Yeah.
So you are a younger person, as I would say Jared and I are. You're a little bit younger than us. What do we think the MLB can do to make things more accessible to young fans? I know you mentioned marketing the players a little bit.
Don't say Fortnite.
Yeah, put them all in Fortnite.
Yeah, put Shohei Ohtani in Fortnite. There you go.
That's my solution. That's what you need to fucking do.
No, we gotta do the other way around. We gotta bring Fortnite to baseball. We gotta have tilted towers in right field ready to go.
For real.
Tomato Town.
But yeah, I already know they've started to like use a vendor to get photos, highlights, and like custom graphics directly to the players so they can use it on their socials. Because I think they agree. I think they want to like advertise the players, but they kind of want the players to do it themselves by the sounds of it.
Which is dumb. That's dumb. You can't have the players do it themselves. Like, I think, again, I'll use the NBA as an example. NBA does such a good job of making everyone else do the promo for them. Right? Like, I don't know, fucking Kyrie Irving shows up to a party in LA. Next thing you know, it's on Bleacher Report.
Right.
Whereas in that instance, Bleacher Report is the one doing the marketing for them. MLB does not have that. There's no Bleacher Report for MLB. Hell, even last season, I think, what was it? during the entire World Series, ESPN posted about the World Series once.
I remember that.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Like, yeah, MLB just can't get people, I don't know, whether or not they need to cough up money to be like, hey, ESPN,
I feel like I don't know any like the personalities, like them outside the diamonds of like what they do and everything.
Mhm.
Like with the NBA, you get that. NFL, you see that.
Yeah,
too.
well, and the NBA and the NFL, they embrace the soap opera aspect. Like if there's drama, they're going to talk about it a ton.
Yeah.
And besides the lockout, I haven't heard about any baseball drama.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely
past
not.
few years.
Fucking golf's better at it than MLB.
Yeah.
It's like drama and just like little shit like that.
Yeah, like as kind of shitty as it is, sensationalism like that sells.
Yeah, 100%. Last year, Trevor Bauer, former pitcher, he had a scandal later on in the year, but what I'm talking about is one thing that he brought to the public's light earlier in the year. He was saying that pitchers were using this stuff called spider tack, which is like super gooey substance. It can bring your pitching spin rate up. It was like everybody's kind of cheating is like what he came out and said. Like there are these pitchers and the majority of your top 15 pitchers are cheating, and huge scandal. And MLB could have doubled down on it and been like, what should we keep spider tack in the game? Should we get rid of it? Should we, whatever? And they just brushed everything under the rug and tried to like blackball Trevor Bauer from the league by doing that, rather than just being like, should we talk about this?
Yeah.
Like what should we do?
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of think that is one of the unique aspects of baseball is that everyone kind of cheats in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing, but I do think it's something interesting that they could explore a little more.
Yeah. I think it's like, like everyone wants to think like, oh, my team has never cheated. Literally every single MLB team has cheated
100%.
in some way, shape, or form. Has 100%. Whether it's one player used a cork bat or your team was banging on a trash can during the playoffs.
Different strokes.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. But like, kind of embrace that. That's what makes baseball interesting, is like everyone's trying to find a way to get a leg up on each other.
Yeah, and I read something about how in I think AA this year, they're trying this new like pitch comp system where like catchers can transmit signals better to the pitcher, just like through like wrist motions or something like that.
Interesting.
It's like a Pip-Boy from Fallout.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. It's like that. And they can do that. And then apparently the pitcher will get the signal through like their cap or something, like the back of it.
I have seen that. I saw that there were earpieces that pitchers were using in games. I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, it's just to stop like signal stealing, I think, and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And it still keeps the game going.
Yeah, that's actually, that's pretty smart.
That's pretty sick.
I do like signal stealing. I think it's one of the fun parts of the game.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when a team has got another team dialed in.
I think there is something to that gamesmanship of it.
Yeah.
It's like a chess match within the chess match a little bit.
Yes. And baseball is a very mental game. So like that is what it is.
Definitely.
That's true.
I think another thing the MLB needs to stop doing is stop like trying to make every fan a hardcore fan. I don't think anyone's going to go from watching 0 to 162 baseball games over the course of a year. Just get them in the doors. Like just lower the barrier of entry somewhat.
100%, dude.
Free hot dog.
Yeah.
Free bobblehead.
Dude, I'm a diehard baseball fan. I love baseball. I don't watch 162 games a year.
I can't imagine anyone does besides like the players.
No, like I do not. I will maybe watch, a game a day, maybe.
Yeah.
A game every other day. No one has time for 162 games. I'm actually right with the Players Association on this, that we should drop down the amount of games a year.
I do too.
That is the big problem, is like a Tuesday afternoon game at 1:00 between an NL team and an AL team just does not matter. Why are we playing that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think they always like try and advertise, like, I think it's MLB TV where you can get access to every single game. I don't think customers want that. I think they just want a way to watch their team whenever they can on their phone or wherever they are.
Yeah, 100%. And MLB TV just does not work because they've sold television rights to certain stations. So say I'm a Twins fan and I want to buy MLB TV. You'd think that I would be able to watch every single Twins game for $120 a year or whatever. That makes sense. Less than $1 a game. Thing is that because they sold the television rights, I'm in a blackout. So I can't even watch Twins games on MLB TV because I'm in the blackout zone for it.
Yeah, because they're like Bally Sports or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah, because
don't get me started.
That's Jared's favorite company.
Yeah,
They
because
fucking suck.
Yeah, because they have the exclusive rights or whatever. Like I can't even can't even watch the game because I'm blacked out.
I don't get how the league can have that happen where there's certain teams that you just can't watch unless it's on national television.
Yeah, I can watch quite literally every other baseball team on MLB TV except for
the closest one to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's counterproductive. Like, okay, then I'm not going to fucking watch, not going to follow, not going to buy anything, not going to do anything.
Yeah, and then that eventually just falls out of your routine of like the media you consume, and then eventually you just forget about it years later.
The blackout thing should be like within a 2-block radius of the stadium where it's played at.
Exactly. We have the technology at that point.
I am currently 3.5 hours away from Target Field. I'm not going to that game.
Yeah. Like, I'm not dropping everything on a Wednesday afternoon to get to Dollar Dog Night.
Fuck, I gotta see this.
I gotta get to this game.
This Tuesday afternoon game. I gotta go see it.
Yeah, it's really bad. Which also is like interesting because in the CBA, it's the bargaining agreement essentially between the association and the MLB. In the one this year, every MLB team just off the bat is getting $150 million just from TV broadcasting money.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. That should be huge for every single team out there. Athletics are still going to pay $50 million in their payroll.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Fucking unbelievable.
They're pocketing $100 million for sure.
Yeah. The MLB has done some good things though that I would like to highlight on.
Okay.
The MLB, all of that being said, the MLB did do one good thing in 2019. The MLB changed the baseball that the MLB uses in 2019, and yeah, they changed the ball. The ball flew farther, hit a little bit harder. Right. It was more fun to watch. Everybody was going to baseball games in 2019 because there was like, I think league average was like 2 home runs being hit every single game by every team. So like what? That's 4 home runs a game. Mm-hmm. People love to watch home runs.
Right.
The long ball is the reason why people go to see
people just like offense in general. The NFL is changing rules for more offensive friendly. NBA does the same thing.
Yeah, and of any sport, baseball is the least offensive sport. Even if you're the best batter in the MLB, you only get on base 1 out of every 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the best batter can go a week without hitting a ball sometimes.
Yeah, for real. Like it is so defense heavy. But the MLB did do a good job in making the ball better or whatever. Problem is that when it came to playoff time, the MLB changed the ball. They went back to their original ball. Ball didn't fly farther. In 2019, the Twins and the Yankees had the 2 highest home runs ever hit in a season. They both broke the record. And then when it came to the playoffs, once the MLB changed the ball, neither team hit a home run in the postseason at all when they were averaging 2 home runs a game. It's just like they shot themselves in the fucking foot, dude.
How do you leave that meeting, whatever the MLB was doing, thinking you did the right thing? Like, hey, everyone's having a lot of fun with this thing. We better end that right now for like competitive integrity's sake.
We have the most important games of the entire year. We've got 162 games.
We have them, but we have the fans by the hook right now. They're hook, line, and sinker. Let's just cut it right
Let's catch and release, baby.
That was a good pun there.
That's we're trying.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Good one, Matt.
Good one, Matt.
We're trying, guys. But yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. Do you think there could be any change to like fantasy baseball or like daily fantasy that would change things? Because I think that is taking a lot of sports to a new level.
Yeah, that is true. I know you're pretty big on fantasy basketball, actually, right? You were telling me about that. The one thing that I did like that you said about your fantasy basketball is that you like choose players for a week or whatever and see how they do. Baseball rotates through starters too much for that to unfortunately work. The whole thing of like 5 starting pitchers,
disabled lists, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, people are getting sent back and forth between AAA so often that it's like, how do you do that and have it make sense? I don't know. You're right on fantasy being good.
I think they just need to go all in on daily fantasy.
Yeah.
Do something like that, or just put like prop bets out for like pick who's going to hit a home run tonight to like win a big payout. I'm sure DraftKings or someone does something like that.
Yeah, I know for a fact that the Twins actually do that in-house. So like, you could win like free plane tickets if you guess 4 players who are going to get a hit that game or some shit like that in-house. And that's actually really fun. Like while you're at the game, I would like to see something like that happen outside of the game.
Yeah, I think taking those in-stadium things that make things fun, like not necessarily even the trivia and stuff, but just stuff like that and bringing it to like anyone watching at home, that's going to keep them glued to the TV a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to pay attention to a game if I have skin in the game.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I mean, I've never been a huge sports gambler. I know, bad podcast to say that on, but like when I do, I'm tossing $2 on a game or something like that because it's just like, it's a little skin in the game. It just helps you pay attention. You just want
to feel like you were right.
Yes.
It's not even about the money at that point.
It's more about the bragging.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, before we take off, what are your predictions for the season? How do you think the Twins do? What teams do you like?
Teams that I like this year. I really like the Seattle Mariners this year. Didn't make it to the playoffs last year by like 1 or 2 games or something like that. But I really like the Mariners. I could see them going a decent shot into the playoffs. I like the Chicago White Sox this year. I think they look really good. Tim Anderson is a dog. He's a guy that the MLB should market. He's just cool as ice. I mean, he is so fun to watch play. I know I sound like an old man, but whatever.
He plays the game the right way.
He does. He plays it right.
Yeah. Just gets a lot of hits. That's it.
Yeah.
He plays it right.
He's just good.
He just plays it the right way.
Yeah. But don't bet on the White Sox because Vegas has White Sox doing really well. And I don't think they're going to do that well, but they'll be fun to watch.
I've heard the Blue Jays might be up and coming this year.
Blue Jays. Honestly, I don't really know too much about the Blue Jays and how well they're going to do this year. I can't really say too much about the Blue Jays.
That's fair.
Play Toronto.
Yeah.
They have like the indoor stadium, don't they?
Skydome.
Yeah. It like folds. It like opens and closes.
It folds.
Do we think the short training period is going to like have a lot of injuries at the beginning of the year? I've heard that people should keep an eye out on that.
I don't know if it's going to have. I don't know if it's going to have a lot of injuries. I mean, that is true. There have been some like last minute injuries coming out of spring training lately, which is tough because most teams have already decided their roster.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that it's going to really hurt pitching. So that's a good thing because you might see more offensive moves happen this year.
Take the overs the first month.
Yeah. Take the over on the first month. A lot of errors. And specifically because there were so limited games, pitchers had few outings. So teams are going to make ill-informed decisions on who they should have as their starting pitchers.
Gotcha.
Because your 3, 4, 5 slots are usually the ones that are highly contested during spring training. Since a lot of these pitchers didn't get to pitch that much,
it's not fleshed out yet.
It's not fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks of this year is going to feel like spring training for pitching.
So overs.
That's all I've been thinking the last 30 seconds is just betting the over on every game.
That's possible. That's good advice.
Especially if there's a no-namer pitcher, like someone that you've never heard of, and you've got a team with a halfway decent offense, slam the over.
Love it. That's the only advice I need. All right, cool. Well, that's all I had. I think I am looking forward to watching these first few weeks and like getting into it.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm going to try. I try every year. I always tell myself I'm going to get into it. I'm going to see how long I can hold on. I'm going for at least Memorial Day.
I honestly don't pay attention for the first 2 weeks and then forget about baseball until June.
Yeah,
that's
how she goes.
That's how you should watch baseball.
Like after All-Star break. On that era. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go to a few Twins games and stuff this year too.
Yeah. Oh, great advice. Target field, first baseline, best hot dogs you'll ever eat.
Schwager.
Why is that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. Get some fried onions with it.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked at Target Field, the best ones were in the basement that they gave the employees.
Really?
We just got those for free before the game started.
You worked in a lot of basements in your past.
I have.
Just 2 that I can remember.
Yeah, I think it's why my skin is so pale all the time.
I don't want to say that, but yeah.
I appreciate it. Jared, you got anything else before we wrap this one up?
Enjoy the opening day.
Play ball.
Take work off. Watch all the games. Get a hot dog.
Buy MLB TV for $130 a year just for this first week.
Fuck Valley Sports.
That's literally exactly what we did.
Fuck Valley Sports. Actually, Jared, you want to go halvesies on an AT&T live account so we can watch?
Is that what it's under?
Yeah, that's the only way you can watch Twins games here.
What else does AT&T live have? Like
nothing.
Home Improvement or something? Like what shows do they have to stream? Yeah, something like that.
That's what they've got.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay. If that's the case, I'll go thirdsies with you guys.
Thirdsies?
Just so we could have it on the TVs here. It'd be a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
But
or you could be a pirate.
Just
saying. That's all I'm saying.
You could be. We condone it here.
We do not condone.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, this is the MLB does that, so I mean, that's what we got to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
They haven't team named after him.
Yeah, well,
They're
be
just
a pirate.
asking for it.
Be a pirate. Yeah.
Pittsburgh Pirate, that
Yeah, be a
is.
Pittsburgh pirate.
They have the Pittsburgh crackstreams.net.
Yeah, crack streams.
That's their stadium name, crackstreams.net stadium. Just like, oh, the Lakers is crypto.com arena.
It's like these websites are making a lot of money just on those shitty ads that you do not want to click on.
Oh, God.
That's the worst when you open those ads. They just like pop up everywhere.
You have to play like Olympics just to like get to the game. You have to exit out of 3 things. It opens like 4 tabs. You gotta close them all out.
Yeah, you get some like porn accounts. and
You're just
stuff.
praying your computer makes it through the
Hot
game.
singles in my area.
Yeah. Forget baseball. That's where all the baseball viewers are going. They're getting distracted by the ads.
Yeah, they're meeting hot singles. Not the singles you're thinking of.
Oh, that would be really good marketing, actually. Hot singles in your area. You click, it's just a baseball stream.
It's great.
It's like Ichiro highlights.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, this is not what I came for, but since I'm here, I might as well watch it.
So dumb.
All right, guys. Well, good luck watching hot singles in your area. Have a great opening day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later.